Hey guys, it is day 14 of Vlogmas, and I'm like, wow, only 10 days left. And then I kind of realized that, remembered that Vlogmas is a countdown to Christmas, and I am so not ready for Christmas. I did a little gift shopping yesterday, online, naturally. I got my dad a new wallet. I don't normally order things off of Instagram ads, but there's a wallet that had like room for one credit card with a thumb slot that like popped it up. So it's easy to get out. And then you opened it and it had like a money clip in the middle and a place for your ID. And then you could fit some more cards on the other side. It's a really tight fit. So there's like a cord that you pull and it like pops them out. And so I figured it was like minimal, but like classy that my dad would like. So I ordered him one of those. They are having a sale right now. It's from King's Loot. So I don't know if they're a good company or not, but I ordered it to give it a try. And so fingers crossed it comes in okay. Then I also ordered some flowers for my grandmother. I picked a florist that's actually near my parents and my grandma. So my mom's going to go pick up her flowers on Saturday. So that way she can have her Christmas flowers pre-Christmas. I did end up getting her not Christmas flowers. I went into their like regular collection. So I was looking at the Christmas ones and they had some really pretty ones, but they were all really expensive, but not like, it wasn't like, oh, grandma's not worth a few extra dollars. It's more like, why is it this much for this little of stuff? And so I went and I found one that has like all of my personal favorite flowers in it. And it's like orange and bright and it comes in a cute little vase. And I got like a little hummingbird pick because my grandma likes hummingbirds to put in there with the flowers. So I'm hoping that she likes those. And then my mom, I have not picked up her gift yet. One of her pieces is going to be a homemade gift, which if you have any crafters out there, do any of you wait until the last minute to start handmade gifts because you're really convinced that it's not going to take you that long? Yeah. I have to actually go and get that finished, but I have all the materials. I just have to figure out where I put them, and then we'll probably do some crafting with that. Well, it's got to be later this week because I'm running out of time. Not today though, because I am also running late for work and just need to kind of say hi, open up our Advent yarns, and then skedaddle. So day 14, let's go ahead and get right into it. So hedgehog fibers first. Here is, I see Ivan like wandering around and like looking out windows and stuff. He looks like he's up to shenanigans. And we're back to another green color. This one's a little bit more green than usual. So got some electric green and yellow, little pops of pink. I really like the way the little speckles of brown look against that green background. So very pretty. Again, very few of these are actually colors I would buy on my own, but I think they're gonna look great in the knitting. Now magpie fibers right here. I am not going to shake it today because it is clearly heavy, not yarn, and I can hear crinkling of tissue paper. So I'm thinking this is gonna be a mug. Remember several days ago, I thought it was a mug, but it was a candle. I think this is a mug. Has like the little, it was called Easter grass that's in there. So it was not tissue paper, it was Easter grass. Oh gosh. And it is a mug. Oh, this is pretty. All right, hang on, let me not make a mess right here. Too late. Okay. I wonder if there's a good way to repurpose this. Let's figure that out. All right, so our gift is from Sam with 2 M's, who is a Sagittarius. Right there. And so chose a branded mug featuring her own celestial design as her gift for this year's celestial calendar. So don't forget that this magpie fibers is a like celestial solstice, whatever countdown. And so it's only 21 days as compared to 24 for a lot of other advents. That's what that looks like. How pretty is that? I love how it has like the glossy lip and then the matte kind of bottom. Sorry, Ivan's very distracting. That's a really cute mug. Love that. So I've also already started planning for Advents next year because I feel like you gotta plan ahead. Now you really got to plan ahead in like June, July sort of time, because usually that's around when most dyers are planning their advents and taking pre-orders. But I have figured out that actually this time of year is when you need to start planning for your advent, because all the dyers, not all the dyers, but a lot of dyers on like Instagram or on their Vlogmases are posting reveals of this year's calendar. So I've basically been going through and looking at all the dyers, and I'm like, ooh, I love that style, love that style. No, but we have that one. And also looking at other people who have advent yarn calendars, and they're showing them off in like their own Vlogmas videos and whatnot. I've just been like making note of all the ones that I really like, especially like noting my favorite ones, and then also following everybody on Instagram. And so I figure that way, when I see the advent pre-orders start popping up in like June or whatever, that way I can go through and start looking at what's in the advents, comparing prices, looking at yarn bases, because I do really prefer certain bases. A lot of dyers that I've looked at, like Mad Pie, their advents are a standard sock yarn, which is, like I can't even think of like 75, 25 merino or 80-20 or, something like that. And I don't want, that's not my favorite. Sorry, I'm still distracted by Ivan, who's wandering around getting up to shenanigans outside the office. At least he's not crying, although it looks like that's going to be the next thing that he does. Anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and go to work. Let me know in the comments if you guys have any eyes on advent calendars so far for next year. So give you some suggestions of who I should be following on Instagram. But hopefully I'll have enough time to check in later. So hopefully this is not goodbye. All right, see you later. All right, so I am back home from work. It's about 6:45-ish in the evening. And I'm getting ready to start on a Christmas present for my mom. Now, I actually bought the materials for this present ages and ages ago, but I've only just now gotten around to actually making something out of it. So my mom lives in Florida, so she's not really one who could use like a scarf or a hat or something like that. And she often doesn't use handmade presents anyway because she's like afraid of ruining them or something. Like I one time gifted her a beautiful set, I worked really hard on it, of quilted placemats. I don't know that she's ever actually used them. But anyway, that's not the point. Once I've given a gift, it's out of my hands. It's not up to me how the person uses it. But I asked her if she would use a rug if I made her a rug. So I didn't want to use wool because I didn't want it to be something that could never be washed or had to be like specially laundered or something. So I picked up some of these. It's the Bernat Alize Easy Blanket Easy Graphic. And I got 5 skeins of it, okay? They apparently had discontinued this, and they don't have it anymore. I'm pretty sure they still have the loopy yarn, but they just don't have the graphic. But apparently there's something else called Alize, so the same bat name, Alize Puffy More yarn, which is like the stupidest name for a yarn, but hey, we're not gonna judge. I think you still get off Amazon. I've never used it. I don't know if it feels the exact same way. But apparently it still exists. So how I kind of found out about this. I had done a knitting / crocheting / fiber arts activity period at school. And so it was basically like 3rd graders through 8th graders, anyone could join it sort of deal. And I had one student who really liked the idea of kind of like fiber arts of like knitting or crocheting, but found it frustrating to actually learn how to do it. But she went to the store and she found the loopy yarn and she taught herself how to make blankets out of the loopy yarn and soon had like a cottage industry going where she was like making little teeny tiny lap blankets and selling them to all of her friends, which was like the cutest thing ever. But she was my inspiration, so I got some of the loopy yarn. And the whole point of like the graphic yarns is that we found with an end poking out is basically it has 2 different colors of loops. So there's 2 loops paired together, right, of different colors. And you basically do all the patterning on one side. And then I don't know if you can tell from the picture, but like, so let's say it's like a white leaf and green on the front side. On the back side, it's white with a green leaf, so they're reversible. And so I found a rug pattern. It's on Yarnspirations and it's free. It's called the Off Kilter Rug. And basically, I don't know if I can make this any bigger. Let's see if I can zoom her on in. It looks like that, okay? And it's reversible, so you can use either the light side or the dark side. I think I got the same color as in the pattern. This is the 100% polyester, 180 grams. Why cannot not find? Machine washable and dryable. Charcoal and cream is the color that I got. Charcoal and cream. That might be the same color they have. I can't tell. Anyway, so I want to give this a try. I don't know if it's going to be easy. Don't know if it's going to be hard. I'm not going to film this tutorial style because I am not an expert on this in any way, shape, or form. But I'm going to give it a go and I'll work for maybe like an hour and then I'll check back in and show you how it's going. So wish me luck, everyone. All right, so when I was starting this, I was trying to put aside like what I think I know about crochet and just kind of work with the instructions. And so it has you count out 75 loops, like loop pairs. And then you're supposed to tuck the loops through, like you put the second loop through the first loop, the third loop through the second loop, but you're basically creating a chain stitch, right? Now in crochet, your last stitch would have been that guy right there, right? But it said 75 loops, which makes this loop number 75. So I stopped there with that as loop 75. That means that I only have 74 stitches. So when you get to the end, you're one short. Guess how many loops you need? You need 76. So guess who has to tear out all of that work? And it was really obnoxious too. Like this is not as easy as it looks. Now, if you had a kid who was having trouble like managing a hook or needles or whatever, this could be fun, especially if you're working with just the one color loops and you're not trying to manage this like back and forth junk. Although I will say I got out my crochet hook. It's my 6mm one and I use that to pull all the loops through. So I cheated a little bit. But yeah, so now I got to tear it all out. So I think it's almost 8. I might give it one more go before quitting for the night. We'll see. I'll tear it all out and see how I feel. All right, I'll check back in a minute. So as much as I wanted to abandon ship, I could not leave a project with not even one row done, so I did go back. It was a lot faster this time now that I didn't have to count. You do want to make sure like your loops are facing in the same direction. Like I feel like some of these places where like the white is peeking through, I might have like flip-flopped it. I tried to keep it even as I was doing the loops themselves on the first row, but I'm not sure how well I did. And I don't think I'm gonna be able to tell until I'm done with the front side and flip it over to do the back. So, I don't know. Fingers crossed that it turns out. I think I'll do one more row and then I'll call it quits. So, I'll show you after row number 2 and then say goodnight. All right, row number 2 has officially been finished. And this is either going to get more obnoxious with every row or it's going to get easier. I don't know yet which, but I'm done for tonight. Can't handle this anymore. So I'm going to give up and I will see you guys tomorrow.